We're going to be spending the next 30 minutes doing an interview with two people that I very much respect and looked up to in many ways. In fact, they probably don't even know this, but it was maybe 8 years ago now. Might have been 10. No, it was probably 8 years ago. I had the opportunity to tour the Lucido agency headquarter office, which at the time, I believe they were only in Maryland, in Ellicott City, Maryland. And I remember kind of getting shown around, and we walked past this one big office with a ton of desks and a huge island with chairs around it and all sorts of materials and, creative looking stuff. And I remember asking Bob, what goes on in there? He said, well, that's our marketing department. That person does PR, that person does this person does that. And I'm thinking to myself, marketing department, like, we barely have a marketing assistant, and this guy's got an entire marketing department. And I just remember thinking, from my perspective, wow, that's things like that create vision. Because I remember thinking to myself, you know what? I bet we're going to have one of those one day. And of course, now today you're going to meet. Some of you have already met our director of marketing, Alana. You're going to meet her later on. And you'll have a chance to pick her brain as well. But it was a real inspiring visit for me to walk around their organization and see what a professional real estate team, that's really how I would describe it, walks, talks, and acts. And it stems from the originator, the founder, the one that started it all, Bob Lucido. Now, for those that are not familiar with Bob, one thing I very much appreciate, and there's quite a few people that I look up to today, and certainly spending a lot of time with Bob through the years, I've learned one great thing about Bob that I know you guys will appreciate as well as an audience, and that is he's still in the trenches. We've had several calls through the years, including calls leading up to just last week when we talked about some of the things I wanted to cover. He's like, okay, guys, I got to get going. I just pulled up to a listing appointment. I mean, you're talking, an owner and a leader of a team that probably does 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. I don't even know how many units they do today, and have locations all over the U.S. and agents working all over the U.S. And the guy still goes on listing appointments. So I know that I appreciate that, and I hope you guys can appreciate that as well. So we're going to have a conversation with Bob and his daughter, Lauren. Lauren runs the marketing department. Lauren will be joining us virtually on the screen. You're going to see that in just a second. And then, of course, we have Bob here in person. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Bob Lucido to the stage. Yep. See, you got to practice the run. Grab a seat, Bob. I'm telling you, it's not that easy running up and down those stairs. All right. Well, Bob, and we also have, let's hear it for, she's going to be joining us just now. If we can get Lauren up on the screen as well, let's hear it for Lauren Lucido. She can see us and hear us, or at least hear us. There she is. All right, perfect. So, Bob, we're going to start with you, and then I'm going to bring your daughter into the conversation. And one of the reasons why I've been actually trying to get this set up for a couple events now, this conversation started probably a year ago, and the reason why I felt it was important to interview both of you is because, and I say this with the utmost respect, you are old school.
Yes.
She is new school.
Yes.
And you both understand marketing at a very high level. You understand old school traditional marketing, which I appreciate because, I technically fall on both sides a little bit.
Right.
And I also know that Lauren, who's been there from the start, understands the new school in terms of marketing and concepts to generate more listings and more sales. So First things first, take us back to day one. Just tell us a little bit about yourself. When did you get in the business? Talk about production a little bit. Make sure the people that don't know who you are understand why they should listen to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm honored to be here. Jeff, your entire organization I've been impressed with for years. And to see what you've accomplished here, I was at one of your first sessions like this years ago. This is a great turnout. You all having a great time? Yeah. Your speaker before, ET, was awesome. I'm proud that some of my team members and partners are here. They're here. They went to your sales rocket. They come to the sessions that you coach with us, and they're getting a lot out of it. So
that's good.
Thanks for all what you and your Taylor and your team pour into us.
Yeah, well, thank you for that, Bob. And I told Bob backstage, Bob, you may not remember this. Bob spoke at the very first Live Unreal retreat in Maumee Bay, Ohio.
Yeah.
You were one of our first speakers for that. So thank you for coming back with us now. So Bob, take us back to production. All right. You started before real estate. What'd you do? Just start from the beginning and let's move forward.
Sure. Just real quickly. I'm 66. I got in the real estate business when I was 18 in 1977. And started new home sales. I was never going to be one of you all. I was really selling new homes. And we created a new home sales company. I sold new homes for years and started a new home sales company called Builders First Choice. We were the second largest in the country. We did about $1 billion in sales in 2007, 2008, sold 3,000 homes, 1,000 lots. Life was great. Anybody in the market in 2008?
Oh, yeah.
You have my deepest respect.
Yeah, there.
Then my director of research came in and said, Bob, we've gone from 250 homes a month, we're down to 40 homes. And our cash flow was incredible because the new homes, you get your revenue a year later after the sale. So we closed the doors. We were representing about 85 builders at the time. And that was the most devastating downturn I've ever been in. I've gone through the dot-com crisis, 21% interest rates. They were a piece of cake. People today say 6-7% are high. These are great rates. 2008 was very challenging. So I decided to jump in the resale business. And with 5 of us and my wife, Tracy, we started the Bob Lucido team. And we just started out in 2008. And to reinforce to myself that I was going to get back to the basics, I went door knocking in my parents' neighborhoods. One of the first things I ever did.
Yep.
And started our business, and we've grown since then to over $1 billion in sales. And we're having a good time, having fun. We made a lot of mistakes along the way. We're constantly learning. And I applaud each and every one of you for being here because always be learning, always be growing. I got so many things out of here. And I'll tell you the secret of these seminars may not be just the seminar itself. I got one of the best ideas at breakfast this morning, running into Laura, one of your trainers and coaches, who talked about an amazing idea that she does on social media, and we will be implementing it this week.
I love that. I love that. Well, here's the deal. You can clap for that. One thing I've always respected is you are feverishly taking notes.
That's right.
Anytime I'm around you. And I very much respect that because most people in the industry who know you would say that's in terms of top producers, that's it. That's about as high as you can get in terms of volume and units and so forth. So why do you stay in production?
I encourage everybody to stay doing what you love. I don't like getting into the weeds, and there's certain aspects I don't enjoy. I love staying in what I do best, which is I love getting in front of customers. I love going after listings. To me, it's the competitive nature in me. And we're able to generate a lot of leads from it. And it's one of my passions. So stay doing what you do best and focus on that and try to be the best that you can be in that particular area.
Do you believe that because you're in the trenches, it helps with the development of your people? Absolutely.
When we sit down and talk, I'm not somebody that comes with theory that happened to do it 5, 10, 15 years ago. That's what's great about you, Jeff. Don't ever stop doing what you're doing.
That's right.
You're in the trenches. You can just see exactly what people are just saying day in and day out.
Yeah.
And I'm confronting the same challenges that you're confronting right now.
Yep. Big difference.
Absolutely.
Big difference. So, Bob, tell us about your typical day right now.
It's evolved over the years. When I was in new home sales, I always got up, and everybody, this is within your control. And by the way, I just love what E.T. said today about systems and taking control of your lives and your business. For 30 years, I got up at 4 a.m. in the morning. Before Miracle Morning was out there, it was just something that I did. And I did all my paperwork, all emails, everything before 7 a.m.
Yeah.
And my commitment to myself is I don't touch a piece of paper after 9 o'clock in the morning. In other words, I'm going belly to belly, face to face all day long with appointments. That's where I feel like I'm most productive.
Yep.
And I contribute most of the team.
Doesn't touch a piece of paper after 9 o'clock. Now, for some people that waking up at 4 seems ridiculous, you could instill some sort of rule.
I changed that, by the way, over time. Because I work later in the evening now, because I have late listing appointments like you all do. So now I get up at 5:30, still do the same in the morning and exercise in the morning, then go to the office. And then my commitment is not to get caught in the busy work. If I get caught in the details, then my attitude, everything shifts. I'm always in the proactive phase of business of always generating listings.
Yeah. So tell us, once you get there, what does it look like? What do you do once you're in the office?
When I'm in the office, lead gen for an hour in the morning. I know we try to, our team, we focus on doing 2 hours in the morning, role playing, adopting many of your techniques. You and Taylor have been a great impact to our company, and Kate. So I appreciate what you're doing. Personally, I do about an hour of lead gen in the morning, an hour in the afternoon. Follow up, follow back, follow through. And then I'm out on appointments most of the day.
Yeah.
I'm on about between 1 to 4 listing appointments every single day.
1 to 4 a day. And where are those listings coming from?
I still do open houses. I'll do anywhere from 1 to 4 open houses a weekend, generating leads for our team, generating business. And most of it comes from being this, I guess, a celebrity in your marketplace. Each and every one of you can do that, be the celebrity in your market. I get a lot of business from the open houses. We get a lot of business from brand recognition. Daughter Lauren, our whole marketing team does a great job.
Yeah.
Our office is strategically located. We bought the building right on Route 40, so we have 100,000 cars a day that go up and down in front of our office. So we want to be a dominant player when people think of real estate in Maryland to think of our team.
And so obviously, you didn't start with a big marketing budget from day one.
No.
Where did you start in terms of marketing and advertising?
Well, this was the big argument we had. I was one of the largest print advertisers in the local Baltimore Sun paper. And print, it took me years to have confidence in our marketing team. They told me, you got to get out of that. But it was our billboard. So we got out of it. So we're not in print at all anymore.
Okay. Lauren, if I can bring you in for a second here. Can you tell us about the journey from print to today, what that looked like? And of course, I'm sure Bob resisted that, so it probably took a few more years longer than you wanted to take place.
Well, let's just say I officially, formally came on board full time in 2013. And I believe we got out of print maybe like 2019-ish.
Okay, so we got to work on your sales skills a little bit.
Well, it took a while. We also test market, which this is probably something that Bob or I will talk on.
Yeah.
But one of the key elements that Bob shared, that Bob has taught me from day one, even before I started with the team, was test market everything. So when we do something, we don't fully go in right off the bat. We test market everything. So we were, of course, implementing and test marketing all different types of campaigns and multimedia options. But Bob was pretty fierce on print, so it took quite a bit of time to get that change.
Good. Yeah, we'll talk more about that in just a little bit. Thank you, Lauren. So today you're still going on 1 to 4 appointments a day. You're hosting open houses.
Sure.
Is when you think of your typical day compared to an average real estate agent, what do you think is different about your day?
I love what I do, and I stay focused on what I do, making sure that I stay in the areas that motivate me. I have a plan, and I always have this. I say to my team all the time, show me your calendar, and I'll tell you how much money you're going to make. So,
and what do you mean by that?
I want to see the appointments listed. I want to see if you've got appointments. If you're not meeting people, I learned this when I was 18 years old, my first seminar with Tom Hopkins, if anybody remembers him. Somebody drew these drawing on the board.
Yeah.
It was 2 belly buttons. And I'll never forget, it said, if you want to become a multimillionaire, go belly to belly, face to face with 5 to 10 people a day. And that just made an incredible impact to me. So I try to go face to face with as many people, whether I'm interviewing top talent or whether it's sellers, whether I'm meeting with developers. That's where I'm feeling the best. And that's why I don't have any plans of ever retiring, because I love what I do. Balancing my life is another priority. But I love this. And if you stay doing what you love, and if you stay focused, see, a lot of people having mixed focus. I was talking to somebody last night at the beach party, and doing great, but then they went in this other business, and this other business dropped. I said, you got to be very careful when you do that, because all of us realtors want to do everything. I'm very basic. I like sticking to what I do best.
Isn't that amazing? So fundamental.
Yes.
But it creates the fundamentals. Sticking with one thing creates success, right?
Greatest football coach of all time, Vince Lombardi, will tell you, if you've read some of his quotes and books, it's all about the basics, and starts off one meeting with, "This is a football." Just the basics.
Yep.
They're boring. The boring basics. I tell people I'm very boring because I do consistent things over and over again.
Yeah. So one thing that I admire about your business is you guys do a lot of luxury real estate, but it wasn't always that way. So how did you break into the luxury market?
For any market, whether you're dealing with an investor, new homes, luxury, you need that one domino. Whatever you have to do to get that one domino, get it. So I met a client at an open house, and they invited me over, and I wasn't selling in that price range. And so control what you can. I brought incredible stats, knowledge of the community. I became a wealth of information, but I was just hoping they didn't ask me, how many houses have you sold in this price range? So I got that. Had incredible customer service.
I remember fearing that many times.
Yes. So you win and do a great job, and then domino from there. But the key is not being a one-trick pony and just getting that one sale. The key is getting that sale and dominoing it over and over again.
Yes.
And I feel like we've been very good at that. In fact, we've now gone into really high-end luxury. We do a lot of auctions. We've partnered with one of the top auction companies in the world. We sold Cal Ripken's house by auction. We sold the late Tom Clancy's $12 million condo in Baltimore City by auction. We were part of that. We sold Mark Teixeira's house, the Texas Ranger, New York Yankee star, through auction. So that's a process.
Yeah. So what I heard in that is you weren't afraid to go after it, but once you got the one.
Yeah.
We have a term here at Glover U. We say milk the listing, meaning don't just take a listing and move on to the next one. Get everything you can out of that relationship, out of that neighborhood, out of that seller, out of the neighbors on the left and the right and across the street.
Absolutely. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. I was going to ask, how do you, when you think of, kind of maximizing a listing, when you broke into luxury, what was the next step after you had the listing sold?
Well, so you'll never hear me say this, but I'm going to say it now. I don't want you discounting your fees because you all are worth a whole lot more than what you're getting paid. But on the first one, if you are worth a fortune. What we do, and that's a whole nother topic we can talk about, but the first one in any category, if you want to be sell investment properties, if you want to be an expert in an area, you want to start in luxury, if you have to discount whatever you have to do, get that one.
To get the first one.
Just get that one. Do whatever you have to do. Spend a fortune. Do whatever you have to do.
Almost like a loss leader, which is a very common business practice.
And then after you've got that one, then that's when the fun starts. We have marketing programs targeting. We sold a $3 million house in our community recently. And then everybody else that high-end luxury homes in the county got a customized envelope. I mean, this was an expensive package.
Yeah.
Customized brochure, letter from me.
Yep.
Letting them see what we do.
Yeah.
So, like I just listed an expensive home, about $2 million before I came here. That customer, her birthday Saturday, we sent them to dinner. Strawberries and chocolate were delivered to the house.
Yep.
Take it to the next step, and it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I heard in that is don't treat that client or that level like your cookie cutter. Put more time, energy, and attention into that.
I think everybody deserves Ritz-Carlton service, but the higher end clients really expect it, so we go over and above even more. And since you're making more, because some of the commissions you're going to be earning in these high price homes, they see how much you're making. Make sure you deliver the value.
Yep. So, Lauren, if I can ask you, how do you shift your marketing to be luxury focused without offending people who aren't luxury, right? Like, do you have two different sets of marketing? How do you essentially arm an agent with the tools to go out and take an average price listing versus going out and taking a luxury listing?
That's a great question. Actually, the answer is different from when we first started. So we used to have very separate visuals. So our luxury marketing looked different from our non-luxury market. We had a different logo, different colors.
Yep.
We found that, like what you just said, it offends or it makes it seem like the non-luxury isn't luxury. So when we rebranded, that was one of the main components, and that's why like our brand is so integrated in everything, like everything that I'll talk about, everything that Bob talks about. It all comes back to the branding. So when we rebranded, our colors are black and white, and all of our marketing is designed to look luxury. So whether it's a $3.5 million property or if it's a $125,000 condo, the marketing is going to look high end and it's going to give that luxury feel.
Got it. So the look is the same, is what you're saying.
The look is the same,
Yes.
And we have, as Bob said, we employ different strategies, whether it's for broker opens, the themes of the events, broker opens, open houses, what type of audience is. We cater the marketing towards the buyer profile of that property type.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Lauren. So, Bob, talk to me about commanding a premium. I know you mentioned to us, hey, if you got to do it on the first one to break into the neighborhood, do it on the first one.
Sure.
But today, you're able to command a premium for a lot of the transactions you do, whether it's buyer or seller. How do you do that?
Sure. First off, before we leave luxury, make sure you all don't give up your regular business. Luxury, there's a chance there's a lot of luxury listings that 50% of them expire and you'll lose them.
Yeah.
Because they overprice them. So don't give up your business. Make sure you pay the bills. And I did not go into luxury and give up. I'll still list a $500,000-$600,000 home.
Yep. Oh, boo-hoo.
Well, sorry. But
my average sales price is $280, Bob. Thanks a lot. That's my luxury. Your $500,000 is my luxury. I get what you're saying. Go ahead.
So luxury I'm talking $1 to $7 million.
Yeah.
Don't give up your regular sales because that's what's paying the bills.
Yeah.
Very critical not to do it. Now, what you don't want to do if you're trying to climb the ladder of luxury and you want to mainly deal in luxury, which I'm doing some of that, but I'm still doing.
Yeah.
Stop advertising your $200,000 condos because your luxury buyers see that. Start advertising more and promoting more of your high-end listings so they see you as the expert.
Very good advice. Bob, this wasn't something that we talked about on Zoom, but it is something I've witnessed and recognized, and it makes sense that you handle a lot of luxury. And some people will probably feel a little weird about this kind of a dialogue, but I think it's the truth, and so we're just going to talk about it.
Sure.
I think it's safe to say that you carry yourself in a luxury way. You are perceived probably by the consumer as a luxury real estate agent because of your luxury lifestyle. So can you talk a little bit about how those two relate and how that helps you get more business?
Well, first off, we don't want you to overspend. You are your own personal brand. How you carry yourself, how you conduct your business, how you dress. These are just personal things that I do. I'm a very humble person. I don't brag about what I have. I have my car detailed and waxed every week.
Yep.
They come to my house. If it rains, I have them come again and clean the car. You're going out to an appointment, and I always park out front so people can see it. That's one of your first impressions. Mm-hmm. You see in your car. If you pull up and you got hubcaps off your car and it's dirty, they're going to think, is this how you're going to be handling?
Yeah.
So I think that everything that the customer sees is about your brand, and you want to make sure that you deliver a first-class experience with everything you do because they're watching you.
They are. So the way you carry yourself gives them an indication of how you're going to present their product.
Absolutely. Everything's first class.
Yeah.
We don't do anything second string in our. In fact, if we ever I've gone to some of our events that we've hosted, and they do an incredible job, but every now and then they'll do something that maybe is not at my level.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we'll never do that again.
Yeah.
I don't care what it costs. The perception of the perceived value is more important.
Yeah. So, Bob, obviously we see the numbers. You guys have had a successful team for several years now. Why do you bring in outside companies like ours to work with your agents?
What E.T. said about coaching is so important. Somebody gave me this advice years ago. Surround yourself. I've got my board of directors. They started with me when I was 20 years old. Top CPA, lawyer, stockbroker, insurance man. Jeff's on my board as one of my key advisors. You need these people to help. And their job,
A good suit guy. You got a good suit guy.
the number one clother in the world for Tom James. I hire the best, and I don't negotiate fees. I want them to be fair, but I expect people to make a living. And I'll get into fees in a second when we're talking about listing their home real quickly. But I've got that board of directors, which helps me achieve my potential. Their job is to help me be successful in all these areas.
One thing I really respect is when we did a 6-week sales rocket with your group, as you know, you were there all 6 weeks.
Loved it.
6 weeks in a row,
Love it.
taking notes, asking questions. Do you remember the advice I gave that got you a listing? Do you want to share the story?
Okay.
He was so excited. The class hadn't even started yet. He said, Jeff, can I start off this week's session? I got something I want to say.
Sure. I have many faults, and my family will be glad to point many of them out. But somebody told me this a long time ago, he said, Bob, you are really coachable. I wasn't that great of a student, but I'm a really great athlete and very coachable. Jeff had this one idea, and if you don't implement it, then shame on you. I've implemented it now. I must have sent 50 of these.
Okay.
Very rarely, I won't sign the listing the first time. By the way, my closing ratio is about 90% the first time.
Yeah.
If I don't get it the first time, my ratio goes down below 50.
Easily. Cuts in half.
So you want to do everything you can to close it the first time.
Yep.
So when I don't get it, and I've only lost once since you gave me this idea, on the second time, he said, send an edible arrangement. I'm like, that's pretty easy.
Like the chocolate strawberries, not the edibles you guys are thinking of. Okay.
Okay. So it costs I've got it down pat I got a whole system down.
Like 60, 70 bucks.
$65 and change. As Peter, he owns the shop. I text him to the address, normal message, go. Sometimes it's delivered the same day.
Yep.
I can't tell you how many people have made a statement about that, and only one person has not hired me when I sent it.
Yeah.
And it was the second time. I don't send them if I sign the listing.
Yep.
I only send them when I don't get it as a follow-up.
Yeah. What did you witness from your team, the ones that were engaged, the ones that took a lot of notes and were putting a mastermind group together and role playing? What did you witness with their production? Jonathan is one who.
They're all here, and Jonathan is my accountability partner. Every morning at 7:00, we have an accountability call every day. Jonathan, stand up.
Jonathan, where you at?
Jonathan is my accountability partner and an inspiration to me. Mm-hmm. We all have challenges in our life. I have some, many. He has some going through. Yep. We inspire each other every morning.
He's going to be on this stage one day.
You have to get him on stage.
Yeah, he will be.
The turnaround in the company, the consistency following the systems and the processes, the sales results all increased.
Yeah.
So it was amazing. I know we're running out of time. I want to make sure you recover some of these.
Go ahead. What you got? And then I got some more questions for Lauren too.
Go ahead. Talk to Lauren.
Lauren, question for you. So when you look at what your competitors do, whether it's in your home state or other parts of the country, because I know you guys operate in several areas, why do you think your marketing and social media really stands out amongst your competition? What is it that's different about what you guys do?
Well, I think first, a significant part of our success is because of our consistency in branding. Whether it's in Maryland or in Florida or Canada, the visuals look the same. Mm-hmm. Locally, signage. I see some teams and they have all the agents on the team have their own signs. Mm-hmm. Well, there's no market share visibility if that's the case. So we're very firm on branding and consistency because it helps with brand recognition.
Yep.
Bob mentioned earlier the importance of being the mayor of your town. And that's something that we've incorporated, throughout all of our marketing. So whether it's the signage that we have on the local soccer fields, or our moving trucks, or our for sale signs, or our, the client gifts, the Yetis, the swag that we give, everything is branded and consistent. So when someone sees it, they know that's Lucido.
Yep.
And I think brand consistency, whether you're a team like us or a solo agent, consistency is super important to your. And like Bob mentioned, which I harp on this so often, is that you are your brand. So regardless of your team or your brokerage, your logo. You as your an agent, you are your own brand. So being consistent with your branding and how you are presenting yourself,
how you carry yourself. Yep. I love that. Did you want to add something to that, Bob?
No, that's right on target. Each and every one of you is your own brand. Every day you show up, and what you put out there is your brand.
Yeah.
You're in business for yourself.
People are paying attention. Hey, Lauren, what would you say, what are some of the mistakes that you see agents making today as it relates to marketing and social media?
Okay. I think some agents, and not just in marketing, but in real estate, I see a lot of people chasing the shiny penny. So focusing on, being distracted, and instead of having a plan and then working that plan, they're, kind of starting something a little bit and then seeing what the next person's doing and then following that. Or they go to training and then they get distracted and like, oh, I want to try that. So then it's like, hamster wheel, but you're not going anywhere. You're just doing a little bit of a lot of things. Rather than really having a plan and focusing on your one thing, picking something to focus on, whether it's social media or whether it's, sponsorship of a local team or organization or something that you're going to do super consistently. Open houses every single weekend. And then mastering that and then moving on to the next.
So going all in on something first, mastering it, and then layering something on top. Versus spreading yourself too thin and not developing anything consistent because you're constantly changing up the game.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, and I mean, this isn't just real estate, this is life. It's not, I find myself this way too. It's not always about more. It's about it's about focusing more on less than actually doing more things.
Yeah, that's very good advice. Question for you also, Lauren. How are you guys staying in front of your database? That's something we talk a lot about here at Glove Review, adding value to your database, adding people to the database. How are you at Lucido staying in front of your database so they remember you guys?
Yeah, of course. So as Bob mentioned earlier, everything we do is first class. So our client events, we have every spring or every summer, we have a big summer soiree. We rent out this high-end restaurant and invite all of our clients. We do pumpkin giveaways. We have Thanksgiving pies. We do gingerbread pickup. So we have a lot of events and touch points with the database. And even if someone, Bob and Tracy have a lot of clients who sell in Maryland and then move out of state. But we still keep them on, their database.
Yeah, of course.
They don't necessarily come pick up a gingerbread kit, but they let that correspondence and people appreciate the thought. So,
correct. And they still know people back at home where they're from. Yeah, you should never remove that type of person from your database for that reason.
Right. We've had people, the clients have moved out, but they have grandchildren in town.
Yeah.
And the grandchildren will come in and the grandchildren, love Bob because they're getting these gingerbread houses that they can decorate.
Yeah. And if you think about it, you get credit for the invite, whether they take you up on it or not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your idea with the Detroit Tigers, I want to do that with the Orioles next season.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I'll help you with that.
Yeah.
Bob, did you want to add something?
I love what ET said today. I don't know, it was right on target because it was already in my notes. One thing that differentiates us is that we have a selling system. And it's one of the ways we're able to command higher premiums for our fee structure is we have the Lucido Listing Blitz. It's a 5-day program where we sell most of our houses in 5 days. You get your highest prices in 5 days, but we have a process. So when you go on listings, we share with them that we have a system, we're just not another agent.
Yeah. And that obviously when having the conversation with consumers about commission, when you can list off, which the advice that I took from that, which hopefully everyone heard as well, when you can list off 2 or 3 things that are unique to you, your team, that you do differently, that's when you can command higher fees.
Yep. Focusing on commissions, we won't discuss any amounts. We don't get into commission conversations, try not to. What we focus on is their net. How much are they going to walk away with? Because people are willing to pay premiums. You look at, how many people have a Dom Perignon? Okay, why don't you drink Andre? It's cheaper. You want the experience. How many people go to Capitol Grill versus Outback?
Love Capitol Grill.
You like the food and you like the experience. How many people, you look at so many different brands. Southwest has a commercial, and they sell not the flight, they sell the destination. You'll see that picture of the Bahamas.
Yeah.
People are selling the end game. Mm-hmm. Bentley, they don't sell good gas mileage or safety.
Yeah.
They sell the experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what we do is we create the vision for the people to help them create their goals. People will spend whatever as long as you can deliver on their goals and their dreams. We got to be more of dream builders rather than just following in the process.
Yeah.
Create the dream, create the big picture, and you can command your premium.
Love that advice. Bob, anything else you want to add before we end?
You asked me once, about mindset around your commission, about what you do.
Yeah.
How do you command a premium? And in my normal sessions, I ask feedback. How do you all command a premium? But we can't do that today. My son, Robert, who was going to be here today, by the way, he was in the airport in Chicago for 8 hours. They kept bumping the flight. He said he would drive here. Then
no rental cars.
No rental cars. So I had to go
By the way,
we've
heard that Chicago. No, for moving forward, no layovers in Chicago. All right.
No.
Go through Minneapolis or Detroit or whatever.
So about a year ago, Robert plays an integral role in our company. He said, "Dad, let me ask you something. You're one of the top realtors in the country. Why do you get the same commission as this discount company?" I won't name any brokerages.
Mm-hmm. Which is a great question, by the way.
And I said, I guess that's the way it's always been. Or I guess that's what the other agent's going to pay me. And it's normal and it's consistent. And
that's what our competitors are doing, so I have to.
So a light bulb went off in my head, and I got some additional coaching. And I want each and every one of you to get paid. I think it's wrong for you to get paid more than what you're worth, but also think it's wrong for you to get paid less than what you're worth. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I have no problem charging a high premium because I deliver at a very high net result for our clients. And I want each and every one of you and my team to do the same. So commanding a premium in your marketplace, there's only 3 ways to make more money. You can sell more homes. I don't think that's happening today. With limited inventory, I don't think that's happening for most people. 2, you can repeat the number of times you sell a customer, but in our business, they're really not turning it over. Mm-hmm. Or 3, you can raise your prices. You can raise your premium. If not, it's a race to the bottom, and I will retire if I'm going to race to the bottom. I'm not going to go there and be a discount house. Mm-hmm. Okay? So you have to choose what you want to be, and I choose to deliver an extraordinary value, extraordinary service, but you can only deliver so much service. But your skill level, and if you partner with Jeff and get training and constantly want to improve, constant and never-ending improvement. Tony Robbins has that quote, CANI, and I've lived by that. If you get that and you master your skills, you can command some of the highest commission rates in the marketplace. I've doubled the fees that I'm charging and getting, proud of it, and my sellers are more excited than they've ever been.
Bob, it's been an honor. I love that. I think there was a lot of good advice in that. And I know that's something that our team is probably taking notes on as well. So thank you for that advice.
Your team is helping us. Jeff has a monthly call with our team. He's done Sales Rocket, engaged some of our team in training. I'm not just here to plug his training. I really believe in him. I saw him on stage. When I joined the brokerage I'm with 8-9 years ago, he was one of the first people. I didn't even meet Jeff. I said, I like that guy. And we've gotten to know him over the years, and he and I have bonded in different sessions because we're both in the trenches, and we both tell it like it is, and we can relate to it. That's right. We're not on theory. So keep doing what you're doing. Proud of you and your group.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Lauren. Let's hear it for Bob and Lauren Lucido. Let's hear it for them.